This video is sponsored by bridalfabrics.com. Hey guys, welcome back to my sewing room, and today's sew along I'll be showing you guys how I made the sewing pattern for this wedding dress. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more sew alongs like this. Now let's get sewing. Okay, so I'm starting with a square of muslin that I cut with one edge along the selvage. And I did that so I can know that it's on grain without having to really think about it. And then I'm going to go ahead and smooth it into the princess seam here. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And you want to trim it down so that's not kind of in your way. And like I said, I'm doing the same thing on the other side, making sure that the grain is nice and straight. I'm going to pinch here at the bust line and just go ahead and pin up and down.
There's something inside, yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you, yeah.
And then I'm going to snip some notches into the bottom here so that I know my pattern pieces are laying nice and flat. And then I'm taking measurements on myself. So I'm measuring from my apex to the top of my bust area where I want the top of the neckline to stop. And then I'm just going to go ahead and transfer that over to the dress form on both sides of the princess seam. And then I'm measuring from my apex to the center where I want my neckline to stop. And I'm going to place a mark there as well. And then I'm measuring from my apex to where I want my neckline to stop towards my armpit area. And I'm putting that there. And then I'm measuring from my bust line down to how deep I want my neckline to be. And I placed a mark there as well. Now this last measurement is my apex to where I want the curve to kind of be for the sweetheart neckline. And I'm going to just connect all of those lines that I made. Now I'm measuring from my waist to where I want the side seam to stop, and I'm placing a mark there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and connect that to the rest of the neckline. Then I'm going to cut it out because I know that when I cut it out, there's going to be a little bit of extra there at the princess seam. So I'm going to make sure to pinch that in like I'm doing here and just repin that. I'm then just going to make some adjustments to the neckline so that I know that it's kind of smooth here. And then I'm going to mark out my waistline as well as the princess seams and the side seams as reference points when I go and put my pattern onto paper. Now I'm going to drape the back. So I have another piece on the selvage, and this is just a scrap piece that just happened to be on the selvage. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it, not really wrap it, but drape it over to the other side of the side seam here, and I'm placing pins. And then I'm also going to cut that little extra bit off at the waistline and then put my notches in here as well so that it's laying nice and flat. Now this is going to be a little bit different than usual because we're doing a corset back. So I kind of measured, eyeballed on the dress form where I wanted the corset back to stop. And then I'm just going to draw out my side seam. And then I measured up from my waistline in the back to see how high I want my neckline in the back to be. And then I'm just going to go ahead and connect that line to my side seam. And then I'm measuring how open I want my corset to be. And then I'm going to just connect those lines there.
There's something inside.
I just wanted to cut in here real quick and let you guys know that I will be opening my own bridal salon in May of next year, so May 2020. And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, the education that you guys know and love here on YouTube will be brought in person to the bridal salon location. So I'll be hosting meet and greets for us to go ahead and meet and, you know, learn new things. Socialize with each other, as well as weekly sewing classes for you guys to come and learn all of my techniques and the things that I do for wedding dresses in person. I am so excited to embark on this journey, guys. I feel like it is way past overdue. If you guys are interested in supporting me, I will put a Kickstarter link below in the description box for you guys to go ahead and donate. Now I figure in my head, I have almost 9,000 subscribers, and if
each of my subscribers only donates $1. That's $9,000 towards making this whole thing possible. So if you guys could donate, I would really appreciate it. And obviously all of my free content will still be uploaded on a regular basis on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for your support in advance. Now let's get back to the video.
All right, so now it's time to drape the bottom, and I am doing the same thing. So I have a square of muslin here that I'm making sure that's on grain. Then I'm smoothing it over to the princess seam and trimming that extra down, and then taking the extra that I trimmed here, making sure it's on grain, and then pinning it down the side seam. Now I'm pinching in the princess seam here. Now usually in my other tutorials, I create a dart here and then just open up the dart into princess seams when I take it over to paper, but I realized that that's not as accurate as this is, and I ran into some problems when I do it that way. So today I decided to go ahead and actually do the princess seam. And these are all of my pieces here. So I have my skirt pieces here, and then I have my bodice pieces. I traced my bodice pieces over to pattern paper, and I left my skirt pieces as is. And this is the beautiful satin that we're gonna go ahead and use. The sponsor of today's video is bridalfabrics.com. They have a wide variety of quality laces as well as woven fabrics that can be used towards your next wedding dress project. If you are a designer like myself, they also stock swatch books that you can stock in your salon. So when your brides come in, you can go ahead and show them the different swatches of lace and fabrics that they carry. They are my go-to lace supplier for all of my wedding dress needs, and I hope you guys check them out and love them as much as I do. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm cutting it out here, because I always get questions about how I extend my skirts. So here I have my center front piece, excuse my tape, I got kids, and I'm measuring down from my waistline to the point where I want it to stop at the front, at the center front, and I'm placing a pin there. And then I measure from where my pattern stops to the pin that I place. I'm taking that measurement, and then I'm going to add an equal distance measurement from the side point of that pattern piece down and place a pin there. Now here's my center back piece, and I'm measuring down the length of my train from my waistline, and I'm going to go ahead and place a pin there. Same deal, I'm going to measure from where the bottom of the pattern piece stops to where we placed our pin, and then I'm going to add another line, an angle here from the other side of my center back piece, with a little bit extra up. So I took off a couple of inches and placed a pin there, and then I have a little bit of space here, so I'm going to go ahead and lay my bodice pattern pieces here. And then just to keep everything from being all over the place and overwhelming, I'm folding my fabric up. Now here I have my side front piece, and again I'm placing a pin there. I measured the measurement that we had from our center front piece at the princess seam, and I'm just transferring over that measurement because you want to make sure that all of your seams line up. Now I'm adding a couple inches and placing a pin there, and then I'm going to keep note of what that was, and then I'm going to put that same measurement here at the side seam on our side back piece, and then I have to take note of the measurement that we had on our princess seam of the back from the center back piece that we had, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer that onto the other side as well. And I'm going to go ahead and interface all of my bodice pieces as well as my skirts down to about my hip line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will meet you back at my next video, guys, which should be out sometime this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one.